Good morning, everyone. It's Marty Harger, and this is Independence Week in the United States. I'm sure most of you know that. Tomorrow is July 4th, which is our celebration in the States for um, our independence. And since Canada had their big Canada Day on Monday this week, I believe it was, it's important to recognize our independence. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about the combination of independence and the concept of compassion today. The Essential Yoga Program theme for the month of July is about freedom and your ability to choose what you decide to do, both internally with things that are presented to you and circumstances outside of you. This is a time in our world where so many energies are spinning and spinning and spinning, and we have to make decisions about how we choose to look at things. So today I thought it would be a great idea to focus on the idea of independence, and I want to focus specifically on the use of some essential oils in your yoga practice this week and month, things you can share with other people that would be interesting related to this theme. So in the idea of independence, I want to start with a quote from Helen Keller I want to read to you, which is, "Although the world is full of suffering, it is full also of overcoming it." So although the world is full of suffering, it is full also of overcoming it. And what she's pointing to here is the choice that we have of how we choose to perceive that which is around us and how we want to incorporate that into the way we show up and are present with the day. So I want to start with the essential oil of petitgrain. And petitgrain is an oil that comes from the leaves of the bitter orange tree. It was introduced by doTERRA a couple of years ago, and it has a very, I think, a very powerful aroma, but it is actually considered a high note. It's a lighter aroma because it's in the citrus, comes from the citrus family. It is steam distilled, and it is the oil of our ancestry. It's the oil of our ancestry, and I want to talk about our independence because this came from our ancestors. In a sense, our ability to have our freedoms that we have today came, no matter what country you're in, came from the choices that were done by those in our ancestors and our fellow citizens, people that sacrificed, provided service, and gave us the freedoms that we have, no matter how vast they are or how limited they are. So we want to honor those people as we think about the concept of independence and recognizing that our ancestors did the best that they could with what they had. When we use petitgrain essential oil in our yoga practice, I like to use it a couple different ways. One is, my favorite way is actually to diffuse the essential oil of petitgrain. And I think it makes a beautiful oil to blend with. And I also believe that you can use it internally. It has supplement facts on the back. I don't know that I've ever used it internally. So what I would suggest to you is that aromatically and topically, this is a great oil to consider using. Again, the leaves of the bitter orange tree. And when we use this in our yoga practice, by diffusing it in the room around us or putting a drop or two on our hand and cupping it around our nose, we're going to take in some of the properties of this very uplifting aroma. But let's talk about emotionally why this ties into the theme of independence. So when we look at the oil of ancestry, petitgrain, and we look at what it has done for our ancestors and how we can look at what our ancestors have done for us in our independence, it helps us to honor and celebrate our independence by appreciating the wisdom and the knowledge that's been passed on to us from other generations. It helps us focus on the good that we got from our family lineage. And what helps us heal when it gets complicated is the use of the petitgrain. It really does allow us, if we use this regularly, to reveal the patterns that have come from our family history, to embrace the good things. And I think that that's really what we want to celebrate when we celebrate our freedoms. We're not celebrating the oppression end of it. We're celebrating the freedom, the benefit that we got from our ancestry. So rather than trying to disown our family history and worry about betraying our family if we take a different path, maybe some of you practicing yoga may feel that. Maybe you were, it was discouraged for you to take on a practice of yoga because there was a misunderstanding of what you were using it for. So part of this is the use of petitgrain helps us release the fear of disapproval. Maybe people have pushed back at you for using essential oils at all for your health and well-being. This is a great oil to embrace the good things that you got from your family of origin, your family of choice, your community, your state, your country, your people. What did you get from them that was of benefit? And to focus on that aspect, to cultivate the healthy traditions that you want to carry on with you and the freedoms that that gives you to choose that, and instills a pioneering energy, a very strong energy that allows you to see the gifts in your ancestry. And that's what takes me to the next piece of this today, of how we integrate independence, our ability to choose what we want to take from our ancestry with the use of petitgrain essential oil in our practice, and moving on to the concept of compassion, having compassion for the things that weren't perfect, the things that didn't happen beautifully, that weren't ideal, the things that were difficult, that involved suffering, that involved challenges. And those are with us always, no matter who we are. That's, a piece, I believe, of why we're here on this earth. But I want to read another quote to you today from one of the books that I love, a woman named Deborah Adele, who wrote a really nicely simple book that is lovely called The Yamas and Niyamas, Exploring Yoga's Ethical Practices. And I love what she has to say about ahimsa in one area about compassion. And that is, when we begin to expand the boundaries of our heart, we can see clearly to act in ways that truly make a difference. Compassion is a clear response to the needs of the moment. We see this truth lived out in the lives of the great ones. They act with a compassion and a skill that truly changes things. So when we talk about the idea of compassion is a clear response to the needs of the moment, that's what's going to bring me to connect my two concepts today about independence and compassion. When we think about compassion and the ability to act now, in the moment, in the present moment, to work with others and to truly allow us to see the truth that is lived out in the lives of the great ones and how we can carry that forward, I'd like you to think a little bit about how you can bring compassion for yourself and others into your yoga practice and your class or your workshop. And one of the ways I suggest you do that is with the use of a beautiful blend doTERRA put together called the Hope Blend. And the Hope Blend is a combination of essential oils that are also very, very valuable. We have the Ylang Ylang, which is part of the Cananga family. You can win one of these this month, the Cananga, not Lang Lang, but Cananga oil. But anyway, Lang Lang is one of the oils in the Hope Blend. Frankincense, which you're all pretty familiar with, I believe, and bergamot, along with some vanilla to bind them together. Now, the thing about this combination in the Hope Blend that I think is so important is a little bit of a story I want to tell you about compassion. So we all know that doTERRA, hopefully you know, doTERRA is a company that leads with its heart. It leads with education, it leads with the highest quality, but one of the four primary functions that doTERRA believes in, the vision, the passion that they convey to the world through all of their essential oils, is to help give people a hand up in life that deserve some additional help to move them out of poverty, move them to a place where they can empower them to make a better life for themselves, to bring new ancestry out to others. And this creates the very idea that we talked about, which is independence. So if we want to understand how we can help with compassion, bring independence to the world beyond our own countries, we can look at this Hope Blend, and we can take a look at the idea that the Hope Blend is something you can contribute to every single month. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about this Hope Blend. This came from an idea that doTERRA's executives worked on with an organization that is supported by doTERRA's Healing Hands Foundation called Operation Underground Railroad. Operation Underground Railroad works internationally to help stop human trafficking. And this is an amazing joint partnership that doTERRA has put together, a beautiful concept to incorporate into your meditation, to think about how you can make a difference, how you can show up in compassion. And the Hope Blend, this is one of the original blends that they gave us at a convention a couple years ago to discuss this concept, that Operation Underground Railroad, with the funding from the Healing Hands Foundation that we donate through our contributions, Operation Underground Railroad is able to go out around the world with this Hope Blend. And they have a special label that they have produced. And if you peel this label back, you'll see, and this is backwards, I know, for you guys, but this has an 800 number that says on it, if you are a victim of trafficking or to report a tip, they give you an 800 or an 888 number, a toll-free number. So every single bottle of this Hope oil, this is the version we get to buy now, is $20. There's no PV with this. This is merely a donation. It is purposely a donation. It is a $20 donation, less than $1 a day a month for you. If you add it to your loyalty reward program order every month, this is less than a drop-in class in yoga, you guys. I mean, let's get real. How can we help solve the challenges of human trafficking? How can we stop this from happening? We can stop it by providing a change in the way the world works. And how do we make that change? It's an act of compassion that you can do, is to purchase one of these bottles of Hope Blend. It has the bergamot, lang lang, frankincense. It's a beautiful aroma. It comes in a roller bottle. You can put it on your wrist. You can share it with people in your classes and workshops. Put it on your third eye. Think a little bit about your own freedom, your own independence. If you could provide someone with the hope that they too could have freedom and independence by being rescued from a situation they had no control over, wouldn't that be fantastic? Think about the rippling effect we can have together if we all were to purchase one of these every month, give it to someone, tell the story of Operation Underground Railroad and how doTERRA is partnering with them to make a difference in the world, to help give people a hand up. You know, the Hope Oil Blend combination is really one that's also beneficial for those who feel hopeless, for those who need to know that there's something out there that can help them. They can survive whatever trauma has come their way. This makes a great oil to sample. It makes a great oil to gift to others who are going through a difficult time in life. And every dime of it is going to help stop this human trafficking problem. 100% of the money from the Hope Blend goes to the Healing Hands Foundation. I feel very, very passionately about this, you guys. The Healing Hands Foundation is incredible. This is how you can show an act of compassion to others by a $20 monthly donation, whether you just do cash or you purchase one of the Hope Blends, or perhaps you want the rose oil, lotion that you can give. Put it on your loyalty reward program order. Recognize this small donation and how you can make a difference. You can involve a way to create independence in the world right from your own home using doTERRA's essential oils. The Healing Hands Foundation is helping build schools. They're helping put in water systems. They are helping people to create jobs and economic opportunity in the growing, harvesting, distillation of our beautiful essential oils around the world. You can make a difference with that. You, my fellow yogis, can really impact the way the world has independence in their lives as we celebrate it in our lives this week. Show compassion for others in this way. Give it away. Share it. You know, $20, right? For a lot of us, it's not that much. Can we give $1 a day? Could your family find $20 to donate a month? So what happens when you do that? As we come back to the concept of independence, you're creating independence for others around the world. You're helping support the good things in creating an ancestry for yourself that can focus on the positive things that can happen, a pioneering energy, a spirit that we can all make a difference if we each do one little thing. If we each do one thing a month, we can make a real difference. So getting the Hope oil, and by the way, it smells fantastic. So it's not that it's something unpleasant. It's very pleasant. It's a beautiful aroma. It connects you with the energy of the heart with others, and it helps other people have a better life. I hope that you can think about ways to incorporate the Petitgrain and the Hope Blend into your yoga practice in the month of July to celebrate our independence, to celebrate our freedom to choose and to show compassion for others. I wish you all a wonderful Independence Day in the USA. And for those of you in other countries around the world who are watching this, thank you so much for being a part of our doTERRA family. Wishing you all the best. Namaste.